Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day, and thanks for joining. How do you actually apologize when someone has PTSD or triggers? Now, I have seen it myself, and that happened to me several times throughout my life, and this is so important. It's not so much about the apology that you will give. 80% is your tone of voice and your facial expression. What I have seen in the past is people that have that had explosions. So the person that's meant to apologize, like we spoke in the past, goes, whoa, 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 sorry, and they just walk away. You could pause the video now, and you just, if you don't mind, interpret in your own brain what that meant to you. And I'll tell you what it meant to me, and which probably doesn't mean the exact same, but I think we'll be very on the same page. Maybe the wording will be different, but it's the same idea. To me, the first thing that comes to mind is, whoa, what's the matter with you? Are you crazy? Why are you overreacting? If I want to summarize it in one word, it's called judgment. So the person could walk away and said, of course, I said sorry. No, but your facial expression was judgment, that whoa. Sometimes it could be just a roll with the eyes, like, sorry. That's a different type of judgment. Oh, the other one, actually, a lot of people say it. It's also a problem. It's, oh, I'm sorry that hurts your feelings. Basically, crystal clear. It's not so much of a judgment, but crystal clear. You are different. Some people even verbalize that, and they say, it's interesting because I said the same thing to 5 people, no one cared, and you seem like you're getting all flustered about it. I think the most important part is not so much the apologizing, but your facial expression. Remember what we spoke about. These people that have triggers and that are hurt, they are suffering, and we need compassion for them. Now, if you're emotionally unhealthy, their explosion or their apparent overreaction will actually hurt you. So now you have 2 triggers bouncing one on the other. But even if you have your triggers and that reminds you of being told off as a child, now that you have this information, you could sort of understand what's going on and be able to be focused even after they explode on you, and just gather your thoughts together and remember what we spoke about, and you look at them and say, I'm sorry, I see you got hurt. So you realize in that sorry there's compassion. You say something, doesn't have to be exact these words, that's what came out of my heart, I see you got hurt. And as well, you're not apologizing for what you did. I apologize for hurting your feelings. I don't know if I actually hurt their feelings to say that. I apologize for hurting the feelings. Yes, whatever I said was a trigger, but the person that's emotionally healthy, I will say the exact same thing, their feelings won't get hurt. So it's tricky. You are not really hurting their feelings if you were kind, but their feelings might have gotten hurt. Just like I threw salt up in the air, which is not the nicest thing, and some people just brushed it off, and the one that has a wound started yelling and screaming. So yeah, it's not the best thing to throw around salt, but even if you did, that didn't cause the pain, it was their open wound. Now, obviously we don't walk around the world throwing salt, but we're talking about we didn't throw salt. We just came into a room, looked around to see if there's someone that we could connect, and these people said, you were staring at me, so on and so forth. The tone of voice, the facial expressions are so important. And let me conclude with a beautiful story I've heard about 30 years ago. I love this story, and I always repeat it. It was years ago in the shtetl in the village, where at that time, that's the way they dealt with stuff. When someone did something wrong, they just embarrassed them and they figured that will work. Today we know it doesn't work and it shouldn't be done. But regardless, So this fellow in the village, they found that he stole something from someone. So to make the long story short, besides taking care of replacing it, returning it, whatever the situation was, the rabbi told him that for his soul, Friday night when he's in the synagogue, before the service, he's going to have to get up there and say, I am the thief. And that embarrassment will sort of cleanse his soul, and that will be his tikkun, his correction. He looked at the rabbi, and the rabbi was surprised. He actually agreed. Usually they would argue, do I have to do it? It's embarrassing, it's too hard, what are my friends going to think? But he was sort of okay with it. 3 days later, Friday night, the rabbi's in the synagogue, and he motions to him to get up there. We're about to start the services, everyone's here. He gets up there, and the whole synagogue turns to him. And they're waiting if he's going to say a sermon. No one knows why he's up there. And as it gets quiet, he says the following, the same words the rabbi asked him to say. I am the thief. And he walks off. Because I guess some people in the community were already talking that this guy stole from someone. So he walked up. He just presented it, the same words that the rabbi told him. I am the thief. I love that story. Did you put a question mark after it? Did you put a period after it? When we say sorry, and we're saying sorry for the pain of this individual, just show that you actually care for this human being. And if you really don't care, just imagine for a moment now, before such a situation happens in 5 years from now, but just imagine now that you're living that life of that person. Just try to put yourself in that person's shoes, and how could you not be compassionate? Thank you for listening, and thank you for remembering the truth that you are way greater than you think you actually are. All the best.